right, cooling from the car. Let me turn this air down. Listen, my setup is not the best today. I didn't know that I was going to record this. And your guys like, Cooley, you put out that thing about you're going to start recording stuff. I just got to tell you, listen to me. Hopefully the sun won't kill this. I got to get a better setup. Life has kicked me in the balls, people. Do you hear me? It's kicked me in the balls. Y'all, did he really just say that? Yes, I said balls. I'm not for everybody, just so you know. If you're new here, my sister said, you know, you need to get a shirt that says, I'm not for everybody. I do need to get that. Let me tell you what's going on. So, I took a new med, right? Because I'm jacked up to Crohn's. By the way, why are you yelling at me, Cooley? Because I'm jacked up that I feel good today. This video is dedicated to Logan, my young man who also has Crohn's disease, right? This is for you, brother. I want you to hear what I'm going to say. So, I took a med. It was a new med for this arthritis. I'm so jacked up. Crohn's. You get one autoimmune. You get a million of them. This is a long video, by the way. Buckle up, right? Get yourself a diet soda, my favorite. Coffee, tea, whatever the hell is you drink. Anywho, meds make me tired. So I took the med. It literally makes me feel like I'm a drug addict. It put me in bed for 3-4 days. Couldn't get out of the bed. This is the thing I hate most about these meds. And I'm just like, this sucks. My life, right? And I will tell you, and here's what I learned. Here's what I learned, people. No more drugs for Cooley, for what I deal with. I'd rather deal with the pain than to feel like I'm exhausted. I hate, because I'm so driven and so crazy laying in bed. I know what's going to happen, right? It's just kind of the thing. But I will tell you, my only drugs now that I'm going to take for like my Crohn's med every 2 months, puts me in bed for a week. It sucks, right? And Tremonol, which I live on pain pills. That's what it does. Doesn't kill your liver. But I would rather live on pain pills than to be tired. It's just, and you know, and you guys know the gym, we just finished training. Thank you. God is my church. And I have to tell you, my frustration. You know, they say in life, 3 steps back, 1 step forward. Nope, I disagree. For me, it's like 5 steps back, 10 steps back, 1 step forward, Logan. So hear me out. If the screen just got dark, I don't know why, but just listen to the message. I keep it real and raw. That's what you guys will see. Listen, you'll know when I made it in all these videos, right? There's not going to be super editing. I'm just going to get on here so it's easy for me and tell you what I think, right? Because when I get a production team and you see people following me, then you're like, cool, he made it. You should have seen his old videos. But these old videos are the best ones because they're real. Anywho, normally, just let me go to the gym for a second and tell you the story. I usually eat like shit in December. I get fat and fluffy, right? A little fat and fluffy. But I know, and I shut it down. It's my busy time with Illumibot, right? Trying to build a multi-million-dollar company, which you are on the journey with. God willing, I can stay healthy. I still work, though. And then I start getting back in shape. Your boy has been down 7 months. I am fat, I am fluffy, and I hate it, right? Like, usually, it doesn't, I've been down 7 months, Logan, and it ebbs and flows. Listen, when I do get back in shape, and I'm hoping that, like, by summer, I did some cardio today. I'd rather be socked in the face than do cardio. I like the weights. I'm hoping that by, usually, here's the blessing. You know, I've been training like 40 years, you guys. Since I was 13, and now I'm 53. I think that's 40 years, or almost 40 years. I usually can get back in shape pretty fast. It takes me about 2 months, right? But I will tell you, and I don't eat like a total slob, even though I'm puffy and, you know, I change quick. But let me tell you what happened. I'll digress for a minute. I still try to eat pretty clean. Except Easter, the Reese's Pieces, eggs, they've been attacking me at night. At night, I eat clean, and then I get more Reese's for the holiday. I've been Reese's piecing me. I should have stock. I've eaten so much Reese's Pieces. Clearly, it shows. All right. So the reason you're like, why do you love the gym so much? And if you're listening, Logan, and all, listen, my life is a constant. If you see me in shape, It doesn't last very long, right? Because I get hit with all this medical stuff and the diabetes, which is from the Crohn's. So if you actually see me jacked and tan, that's the goal for summer. You'll be like, well, how long is it going to last, Cooley? Hopefully a month or two. And then back to the start over. It sucks. And the reason I love it, why it's my drug, besides all of the hormonal things that we can talk about that it does for you, gives me confidence to allow me to do what I do. And like, yeah, I'm delusional. I live in delusional land, 80-20. Like, I'm realistic, especially when it comes to money, right? But I live because you have to be. I never would have accomplished what I've accomplished in my life if I wasn't delusional. You have to be delusional, right? And life is going to keep lifing. So what was my point on this? I do this a lot now. Oh, why the gym? Because it gives me confidence, right? It gives me confidence to where, and you will find this too as you go, right? In addition, part of that confidence is from the hormone releases. And yes, I'm on TRT, 200 milligrams, which is the standard dose. Sometimes I go higher, but we're at 200 milligrams. I wouldn't take it if I didn't need it, but I do, okay? I'm old. Things don't always even work right, if you know what I mean. Just saying. So it gives me confidence to where, for me, you're like, talk right. I knew that was going to happen because it's getting hot, shuts my phone down. Some reason with the iPhones, the Androids don't do that. Anyways, not my best angle. I feel like, look at my head. It's so big. I didn't know I have a big head. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So I go because of the confidence. I could speak in front of 1 million people. You could put me in the executive board of Nike. Do I get nervous? No, not even 1%. Not even 0.01%. You could speak to 1 million people, cool? Yeah, zero fear. But a lot of that's because of the gym, right? Like, it gives me confidence. So if you're at home and you're just like hating life and you're depressed, get your ass up, get out of the bed and go. Dude, the worst thing you could give me is the disease for a guy who is a meathead who loves the gym to be like it's one thing, and I've said this before, if I like to write or poetry or reading, but you have a guy who's super intense, super passionate, I would describe myself, who like can't go to the gym sometimes. That's how I relieve. I'm a very physical release person, right? And so I'm constantly starting over, and I'm so like a perfectionist, right? Some people say that's out of insecurity, probably, maybe, being a chunky kid, so I get fat easy, right? So the whole up, down, I start to get in shape, and then it doesn't mind F me so much more now that I'm older. But I'm just saying, right? I like to be jacked and tan as best as I can at my old age. Listen how bad it is. I am so messed up. My back is a back 10 years older of a 63-year-old, they say. Like, I'm jacked up, they said, just from training all the years since I was 13. I live on pain pills. Some days I can get away with 2, most days 2 in the middle of the day, or 4, depending if I train. This is how sick it is. It's a good sickness, but I'm sick. I will limp sometimes. Like, I have to like bend over like an old man to pick up the weight, and you're looking at me and be like, dude, like, what's up? Like, a normal person would be like, let's do some walking. No, not me. No, I'm so effed up in the head of the high that I feel like that, like, I would be in a wheelchair. Do you hear me? A wheelchair. And they look at me like, this dude is just nuts. That's how strong that high of addiction it is for me. And in fact, I said to my wife that this is the truth. I do have one of those things, the driving wheelchairs at like the parks at Disneyland, which I sadly have to get. I don't abuse it. I park it at Eastland and I stand in line like everybody else because I can't walk it. Mr. Guy who loves to train and even the cardio, like I do it, right? I'd go running. I'd run. If I could run, I would run. Sometimes I'll jog my big ass out there and it looks kind of funny like a Clydesdale. But what I'm saying to you is this. I have one of those things where the wheelchair things in my future. Like, it's pretty bad, but the addiction is real. So listen, the reason I love it, I'm going to move on, is just whatever it is, walking, whatever, now they're coming out with, like I've said for years, like weight training really helps you, especially with like your insulin and all the things. It's going to make you confident. Women too. I don't know that a lot of women watch me. Not so much for women. I like you here, but I'm just kind of a dude's channel, right? Like, I'm a little much for people, especially women. I mean, I love you here, but I'm like, I just find like when I've looked at the stats, I'm a dude channel, just saying, right? Anyways, so you're watching, so, listen, I have to say, I spoke to a young man. All of you that are watching me, you need to do the thing. If you're between 35 and 50, you're kind of like, you have families, you're in a career, you're kind of stuck, right? Sorry, that's where your life is. But my wife said to me for years, she goes, you don't know what's going to happen the second half of your life. I thought she was smoking crack, right? I was going to be a cop, all the things, super driven, great at football. Then I got put out with a neck injury. I thought my life was over, for real. And then I get hit with the Crohn's and just non-stop. Bad eyes, almost blind. I have stories, people, like most of you. So you're not alone. So this young kid is like telling, he's 22 and working at the gym. I'm like, bro, you need to go do your thing. Like, if I could go back, I would have lived at Gold's Venice, would have trained for a year, tried to do the competing in bodybuilding. I was huge and I was like I had the #1 trainer in the world say things to me, but I didn't have the confidence. I didn't know. Nobody told me, like, go taste things, right? Appetizer. When you're from 20 to 30, you need to taste to see what you like. I would have lived on a cruise ship, imagine, for a year, right? Like, how fun would that be, working? Like, what do you care, right? You're in your 20s. So if you're young or old, and my wife, look, I'm now building a multi-million-dollar company with Illumibot, and I am like obsessed. And it happened, right? I volunteered. Like, sometimes you're gonna work your ass off, right? I was working for free. I wasn't looking for a job. I just wanted to learn how to use Illumibot, right? And then I'm going to tell you something I'm struggling with confidence-wise. Don't let me forget. And then I was selling it on TikTok, and Ross, the owner, is probably one of the greatest human beings I've met in my life. Not just saying that, because here's the thing, and I'm not going to keep saying this, but as you watch me, right, even though I work for them, I've always called it like it is. If something doesn't work, right, I'm not rich, trying to get rich, but I don't need the money. So I can say what I feel, right? You know what I'm saying? But this man gave me a chance, and he just said to me, I told you, he hired me, and he goes, you already do it, why don't I just make it official? And I was humbled. Don't take it for, in fact, I'm so weird, I'm so old school. They're like, I ask for permission for things sometimes, and they look at me like I'm weird, right? And like, they're like, no, do your thing. Like, is it okay if I go to the gym? Because he works around my health issues. I like to go to the gym. And he goes, and he said to me, can you talk on a phone? I'm like, yeah. He goes, and do it. And if you need to rest, I am forever indebted to Ross and Illumibot. What this man has done for me, I mean it. Like, I want him to win. And let me just tell you something, right? Even sick from a bed, but I will tell you, and they do a lot of nice things for me, but I will tell you, it's not because they love me. They do think I'm a nice guy, but let's not get it twisted. I deliver. Let me say it again. You must deliver the goods. There's one thing to be a nice guy, and most men of you guys watching me, right? And my wife's been in corporate. It's her birthday tomorrow. 30 years. 30 years at corporate. I'm so proud of her. But most men talk on these calls, on these meetings, just to hear themselves talk. Stop doing that. It might make you feel important, but you sound like a moron, right? When my wife talks, they listen, because she only talks when she has something to say. And so most of these men, right, usually it's a man thing, have all these grandeur ideas, but can't execute. I fucking execute. Yes, I'm the sales director, but I make them money. Do you hear what I'm saying? So they listen to what I have to say because I deliver. So you do have to be good at the thing. But my point is, you never know. I never knew at 53 that I would get this opportunity that I don't take for granted, and I'm obsessed. And let me just tell you about Illumibot. Those of you who follow that are new, Ross is so obsessed, there's no going back. This man, and he's super transparent, right? And he says, I say, we're not perfect. We make mistakes. He's burned the boats. There is no option for this man. Illumibot must work. We must become a multi-million-dollar company. He has literally burned the boats. That's how invested this man is in this company for it to win. So much so that, right, let's take business aside for a second. I like him like a brother. Like, I actually love the man. You're like for a year, I really do. Because I've never seen someone, usually in my life, I'm the hardest worker in the room. This man works as hard, if not harder than me. I've never been around a true entrepreneur, which he is, which I am. I've never seen somebody be a machine with work, because just so you know, and this is kind of the work ethic of the company. A lot of us are older, right? We have a few young people, like our developers, which is awesome, that he uses, that they do some interns too. It's amazing. The whole business thing is amazing, his cycle. Anywho, I work 6-7 days a week, all hours of the night. Other than, you're like, well, that doesn't seem like great. What about your family? So, yeah, just so you know, there's no balance in life. It's bullshit. Whoever says that there's balance, right, who's ever done anything meaningful in the world, it doesn't exist. Now, balance can ebb and flow. And I take family time Friday nights, Saturday nights. Like, it's 2:50 right now on Saturday. We're going to go to church at 4. And my wife's birthday's this weekend, so we're going to celebrate. But Friday, Saturday, and here's the thing. This is why you have the second half of your life, gentlemen that are older, do the thing. Because you don't want to be 70, 80, 90 and be like, why didn't I just try? Like, who cares if you fell? I'm putting you know why I put everything out on here in my life? To show you, to help inspire someone else to be like, you know what? This dude fails all the time. He's in the bed. He gets out of shape. He gets in. He keeps it. Maybe it'll help somebody. Because one thing, and I'll just say this, and we'll get back to Ross, in our company, is that when people say that, like, dude, you inspired me, I have people that even came up to me in Trans World that I don't even know, right? That just say, because a lot of times I've said to you when I make these videos, I'm like, I don't know. They're kind of like, what's that word? Where it's like weird. Anyway, I don't know that word, but people are like, dude, you help. And so I make these to try to inspire someone else. So when they're stuck in the bed or they're depressed in life, they're like, this dude doesn't have it together. You see moments. Remember this, the highs in life are few moments, but the highs are really high. But most of the time you're living in the middle, you're living with a lot of lows, right? So I try to show that. So I don't just show the highlight reel. You go, dude, he deals with a lot of shit. Like I do. Right? Like my whole life, like not a pity thing, but the difference is I choose not to be a victim, because so many people are like, dude, I didn't know that you live at Mayo and all these things. I'm like, yeah, because I choose not to be a victim. That's a choice. But anyways, we work 6-7 days a week. That's how passionate we are. That's how much I work. And those of you know, I'll get on the phone with you, no less. Like if we're talking about Illumibot, an hour call, unless you know what you're doing, because I need you to know, like, to feel confident, right? So I'll talk to you guys sometimes 2 hours. We become best friends over the phone. I told Ross, I'm like, you couldn't have a better dude to do sales, because I like to talk. Like I said to you, I will talk to a pole. There he is on the side of the street. That crazy dude's talking to a pole. But I love what I do because I love decorating, right? I love to see people's reactions. And so far the people have been great. So listen, you need to do, Logan, the thing. It's going to be a lot of work. There's no guarantees. And our tech, Michael, right? He works 1,000,000 hours. Everybody on this team works hard. There's no free ride. So if you're a younger person or even middle-aged watching me, there's no free ride. People who make it work for years and years and years and years and years, right? And don't win very much. And I will say, this is why I'm so passionate, right? Because I like to decorate. And for me, like, I didn't know. Here's another story. When you decorate, it affects people. Like, they're like, oh, I look forward, or my mom would only get out this story, this woman of her mother who was older, she's passed away, sadly. She said, she'd only get out to come see your decorations. Like, that was the thing. So you affect people more than you know. And I'm still learning that, right? And so between the decorating and doing what we're doing, I feel it feels good to work as a man. And I don't know, like, I was a stay-at-home dad, right? You guys know I was gonna be a policeman and all the things. But, you know, I don't know if it's because we're brainwashed or whatever, and I raised 2 girls to slay. And that's the point. They don't have their lives. My oldest is going to the honors college at ASU. My other one's a friend. They're always in their room, other than when we spend family time, right? So I'm like, I could be one of these moms, because usually it's moms that stay home, or the dads just don't admit it. And like, they don't know how to transition. And I'm sad. Like, I tear up randomly, and my daughter's like, I know, but what am I going to do? Right. And I'm so 1%er. You know I'm big. Be the 1% of the 1%, right? Stay badass. You might fail, but try. So I'm like, I need to do something in the second half of my life. And my dream, can I tell you? I'm fired up today, people, because I feel good, right? I didn't want to show you the bed a couple more times. You're like, dude, this guy is always in the bed. I'm hoping we can stay healthy for a while. So my dream, and don't laugh, right? I will have to tell you this. So Ross, I said jokingly, but not jokingly, I said, so I have two favorite things in the world. Turks and Caicos, one of the greatest, beautiful beaches in the world, right? I'm going to go soon. I told him, I'm like, send me there. Like I joked. I said, if I sell you $1 million, will you send me to Turks and Caicos? He's like, yes. But do you know what he said originally? I said, I want to make you so much money, you buy me a Lambo. Now, I don't know if I have enough money to keep the Lambo. So I go, if we get to 100 million, you'll know. And he said, Ross, this is recorded. You go, you would buy me a Lambo, black Lamborghini, the bigger one. The smaller ones I don't fit in. They make a bigger one. If we get to 100 million, you'll buy me a black Lamborghini. We want and it's not because let me just tell you how long I've loved the Lambo. Not because it was cool. I'm 13. Cannonball Run. Do you remember those that are older? Cannonball Run. The red with the girls, Countach, that's when I fell in love with the Lambo. The red Countach, Cannonball Run. So he told me, Ross said, you guys all bust his balls. You're going to buy Cooley a black Lamborghini. I can't talk. Lambo, if we get to 100 million. So much so that, like, in my agreement, I'm having it written. No bullshit. Can you imagine? You're like, Cooley, why? Because you know what? You're like, it sounds crazy. Yeah, but a lot of things sound crazy. I never would have worked for Illumibot if I didn't do what I did and reached out and say, hey, I do social media, and we started developing a relationship. I'm nuts, right? And I have to tell you how crazy I am. So why not me, right? And I've never done it, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to put the Lambo in my battle station. I'm going to put that. I'll have a picture of Turks. I've been to Turks, but I want to go back a lot. Why not me? Why not you? Right? Because I don't want to die and be like, I should have tried. Like, why couldn't I try for the Lambo? And it's not about the stuff, right? Like, it's been a dream, right? I can at least say, well, I tried. I might not get it, but I can at least go when I'm 70 or 80, or hopefully I live a while. Who knows with all these diseases? I'm on a clock, people, that I can say, at least I tried, right? And it's not even so much about the Lambo. It's about the achievement of the Lambo. And you know what Ross has enabled me to do is to check box one of my dreams of building a business. I really wanted to see it like, and you know what I learned? I don't have the balls from the money standpoint of what it takes. And I will tell you this, right? I have the work ethic, but it scares me with the money. And what I hope that Ross wins. Like, so much so, I feel a pressure. I told this to our president the other day. I said, you know, because I put a lot of pressure on myself internally, the perfectionist. Why have Crohn's, people? And I don't want to live in the middle in the balance. I really don't, right? I live very extreme. I'm going to go out with a bang. It's not healthy, but you achieve crazy. You think Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Joe Montana, do you think those guys lived in the middle? No. You pay a price. I've paid the price. I can't, like with training. Right? But I hope he makes gazillions of dollars, because what I've seen this man, and this is why I'm like, you're with a good company. I know we're not perfect and things aren't going to work and you're going to get pissed off at us. I hope, because I'm like, you didn't see what I seen. You didn't see the risk. You didn't see the work. Non-stop. I want Illumibot to do all of his dreams, because I've never seen somebody personally, we've heard stories, risk and work like this man. This is why I don't mind working 6-7 days a week, right? So just know that behind the scenes, we are working our asses off. And I think the thing I'm most proud about with Illumibot, right, and my channels fluctuate. We'll do a little training, a little cooking, building a business, all the things, is that everybody works very hard on our team, and we're a very cohesive unit. Right, we're all on the same mission. And a lot of the people are older too. Like, there's a lot of older men that, like, we have, like, what we call as our insiders that are just passionate. Like, so I feel like we're all on the same mission. And it's exciting. It's exciting to be a part of something because I never had the opportunity to contribute, and that people listen, and that, like, your team. I'm very big on that team, so much so. Let me tell you where I'm at and mindsets. Ross, and I literally said this to him, and he looked at me and was like, "You are a whack job." But he also loves to go, "You want to go to battle with me? I'm the guy you want to take into battle." So he's like the head coach, right? Good, sees the vision. Me, I'm like the defensive coordinator. I am fucking crazy. This is what I said to him. And I do not lie, cheat, or steal. So those of you that have worked with me, you've kind of found that. I play within the rules in the game. I don't cheat. I don't lie. I don't steal. I find the rules and I play within the defined rules. However, you know what my goal is? My goal is to cut your throat and take you out of business, right? I love to compete. I never knew. He looked at me. I literally said that. I said, my goal is to cut our competition's throat, man. Put them out of business. And they're like, that's a little harsh. He did kind of look at me. He didn't say that. But inside, I know he's like, that's right. That's right, Cooley. You want me on your team. Like, and if you don't want to play that game, then guess what? Entrepreneurship is not for you. Then maybe you should work for somebody. I'm dead serious. Like, if you guys are watching me, right, and you don't have someone who has that eye of the tiger, and Ross has it. Don't let me get it twisted. He's a hell of an amazing person, but he's a warrior too. I've seen it, right? He's just a different kind of warrior, where I'll look at you and tell him, I'm like, let's go, right? So if you're not willing to work 1 million hours, entrepreneur, because there's a lot of people, gentlemen, that do it for the stuff, not for the game. I never knew that the business was like, I got it conceptually, but unless you're in the game, oh man, it's like sports. Like, this old body, I can't compete anymore, right? I can't play football. It's broke. I did like knocking the shit out of people. I told my mom at 15, I played middle linebacker and fullback. I go, Mom, she's making pancakes. I'm like, I love knocking the shit out of people. It's a mentality, right? But business is competing. I love it, right? Like I love it. And so anyways, that's where I'm at, right? My plan is to take you out within the rules of the game, and you can be my best friend. And here's a quick example. And I learned this at 14 years old. Long story short, I told you haven't seen me for a while, okay, people? So I played football, flag football, went to tackle 7th grade. It's different, tackle flag. 8th grade, I was afraid to hit. My sister's boyfriend, Junior, jacked. The biggest guy, Junior, he was jacked. And my dad says, I want you to teach my son to hit. Basically, quit being a pussy. Really, that's what it was. So I told you, I'm not for everybody. I don't sugarcoat it. Logan! Come on, Logan. Step it up, brother. I believe in you. Why not you? Anywho, I digress. So this dude, he goes, this is what he said to me. He goes, listen, he puts his pads on, and I put my pads on. He trucks me, just blows me over. I get down, I get up again. Go at him, trucks me, knocks me on my ass. I get down, I got tears now. 8th grade, this guy's huge. Pat Doan taught me how to lift, beginning. Story for another day. Runs me over, I got tears. So we finish up. He beats the shit out of me. I got tears. He goes, we finish. He goes, you know what, Cooley, I got to tell you something. This was in 8th grade. You hung in there. You stuck it out. As much as I just ran you over, you had the balls to stick it out. And he says, and just remember, on the field, we're warriors. Off, we're best friends. So don't take it personal. That's how I look at business. And this is how my life has evolved, gentlemen, ladies, that all of these life lessons, Logan, Zappo, build you to become the person you are. I could not have fought him back to the gym. I could not have fought these diseases. And I'm going to share a quick thing here. It's not quick, but I'm feeling the passion, very passionate. Without the gym and the not quitting, I would have already quit. It's brutal what I've been through. And one doctor said this to me, and it made me feel, so are we recording still? Made me feel good. She says, you know, Cooley, I've seen her for 10 years. She goes, I've never seen but maybe one other person and this is at Mayo, not even a little office, Mayo. She says these millions of people, right? Thousands of people. I've never seen someone with your drive and your positivity before in my whole doctor career, except maybe one other person. Especially this last time with all the now rheumatoid crap, like I'm so jacked up. So I've never seen someone. She goes, I'm amazed at your drive and your positive. And it's true. I'm not perfect. I hate the world. Sometimes I curse the world. I curse God. What the hell, right? Because I want to train, right? And I've even been in dark places where I'm like, why would I want to live for real, right? I don't have a life, and I love my wife. I love my kids. It makes me emotional, but I still fight. But I also have been to the dark place many times. I didn't want to be here. I'm like, what kind of life is this? I'm in a fucking bed. You understand? But the difference is, and I don't know when the light's going to go off for you, and I fight, and my life isn't perfect. But you must keep fighting. You must. We're not here very long, and especially, men, when you get to 50, things changed at me, and ladies too. I'll tell you a quick thing on that. You realize that, like, you're not immortal. I used to think I was nice. I was never a jerk, but I'm not immortal. And I have less time in front of me, right? Like more time behind me, less in front of me to live. So I don't want to live life to the fullest. And what happens, and I said this to my wife, this is funny, scary. At 50, you just don't give a shit. You don't care what people think. You don't care, right? And I've always been kind of like that. But once I got 50, I really was like, okay, I don't care. And women too, ladies, if you watch me, if any women watch me, maybe Jen does. Jen, you know you're out there. You just don't. I told my wife, right? And she's turning 48 tomorrow. And in this last like 6 months, she's a different woman. I'm freaking scared of her. I'm like she's this little like what happens to the nice, like they love your world and they worship you? Yeah, those days are gone, fellas. If you're a young 30, 25, those guys that are my age, remember the Bill Cosby where my sweet wife turned into like, what are you doing? Yeah, that's my wife now. She even said it. She's like, my crotchety old bitch sometimes. I'm like, yeah, scares the shit out of me. Now I know why my dad went to the garage. Anywho, so what I'm telling you is this. Life, as you know, it's not perfect. Most of the time people show the highlight reel. But I struggle, you guys. And when I have my peak moments or my highlights or like, holy crap, he's in shape for a month or two, or I make some money or whatever, it's mostly life is, you know, one of my favorite people that I learned from. And mentors, if you're like, I don't know Cooley, but I had no mentors. My mentors were online, other than now like Ross. I learned from Ross and the team, right? Gary Vee, I love Gary Vee. He said he says like business or even life is lots of losing with an occasional win. That's life. But how boring would life be? Because when you do win, it's like no other drug high other than when I train at the gym. That's number one. The number one reason I train now is for my head to deal with the world, right? And the high. Like still want to look good, but I'm older, right? Like I'm going to need a wheelchair before we know it. But I also like the Hormozis with business. They've actually done it, right? Cody Sanchez. So if you don't have people in your life or you grew up poor, and I knew nothing about money, like we lived middle class, very blue collar, weren't rich, we never went on vacations. But because of this phone and now AI, you can do the thing. You can learn, and a lot of it comes down to, like with Ross, if I didn't put myself out there and I didn't deliver, you can be a nice guy, but you do need to deliver. I wouldn't have the opportunity. You do create your life. And just remember, and if you're in your 20s, take the risk. It's all about learning and earning and tasting, right? And if you're in that middle stage right now and you're watching me and you're 35 to 45, like you're in it with the kids and stuff and money comes, right? You're in your earning, right? Once you hit about mid 40s, then you start making more money. You start relaxing a little bit. But if you're in that season of your life, know that it gets better and know that you can, if you didn't do the thing, it's not over. It's not over. Once the kids move out of the house, then make it your side gig, right? Eat dinner, and then go work from 6 to 10 or 6 to 12, or, you know, do the thing. Because I will tell you, I work my ass off. I work very, very hard. And so does Ross, and so does the team, and most people. Most people who want to do the thing, do the thing. They eat the dirt, right? So, like I say, why not you? Thanks for staying for the whole thing. Be the 1% of the 1%. Stay badass. Woo! And I'll see you on the next one.